Alrighty. Good evening. How are we doing? Uh, awesome. Well, I guess let's get this thing rolling since the pizza got here a bit late. We don't have much time. But, anyways, yeah. My name's Osvaldo. I've been here at UT for 3 years, and you know, yeah, like it's great to be part of this community now. But let's go to the beginning to where my whole life started. Uh, is it okay? Alrighty, we're good. We're back. But anyways, yeah, I was born in Mexico, San Luis Potosí. Um, and there on the screen you can see the people who raised me. My dad sadly left my life before I was born, so I've never met my dad. But uh, because of my aunt and my uncle and my mom, uh, they raised me. They have made me who I am now, and I am very, happy to call in my parents, all of them. But yeah, you can see my dad on the left side, my mom on the middle. They are my aunt and uncle, but I call them mom and dad because they adopted me to take care of me. And then on the right side, you see my biological mom and my uncle. And then, yeah, so right after me was my best friend, my brother, who is a year younger than me. Um, yeah, so we grew together pretty much a lot. We played around. Um, just again a year younger. He's not that far apart, but through our whole lives, we were never together. As much as brothers and like siblings just get along together a lot. We were never together because my family never stuck apart. Again, I was adopted by my aunt and uncle, so that was a barrier that we had to face in our lives. And then so yeah, grew up in Mexico till the age of 7. Um, have not many memories from that. So there I am with one of my cousins who still in Mexico, and most of my family still lives in Mexico. And my family, it was difficult. My dad, he lived here in the U.S. to be able to provide for us. The only time I got to see him was Christmas time. You know, I remember waking up early in the morning, Christmas Day, and just seeing him get out of the cab, and I would only see him for 3 days out of the year. That was it. Um, but yeah, so my family decided, let's try to give you a better life. Let's immigrate to the United States, and that's where it became a bit more difficult, um, because because of that, I had to leave my family. So that's me after I have arrived. But on the left side, you see my grandma. My grandma was one of the biggest parts of my life growing up. Even though I don't remember much of her, uh, I truly remember her taking care of me for a lot of the time. I remember her feeding me. I remember her teaching me and telling me stories. And I remember, most importantly, her humble heart. How she was so caring, and yes, how happy she always was when I went to visit her every week. And but yeah, again, that was the hardest part of coming here and growing up. But once I got here, I faced new challenges. My brother and my mom, they went to Dallas. They migrated to Dallas, and I went to San Antonio. And for us, it's pretty scary. It's hard to, when it comes to law enforcement, we don't really know what to do. It becomes something we, as I mentioned earlier in the year to Carrie, it's like living in the shadows. We don't like to be out in the spotlight because many people, I believe, judge us. Many people, I felt targeted as well. And growing up here, it was difficult again. I only knew Spanish, so coming to the US and having to learn a whole new language, that was another barrier that really made my hard life. Yeah, my it made my life really hard. For one instance, I remember everyone going to recess but me, just because I couldn't finish a vocabulary quiz, and I stayed in the classroom crying alone. Even the teacher left. So stuff like that, it really made living a bit more difficult. But again, just being 4 to 5 hours away, it doesn't seem like much, but for us, we didn't get to see each other until 5 years later, just because of how far for us it was. We've never really traveled that much. Um, but throughout that time, uh, someone else came into my life, which is my little sister. Um, and I'm so happy for that. And I thank God that she has brought her into this world. And now, after several years, I finally got to see them, and that was great. But yeah, growing up, again, those barriers. I went through all of middle school, and just having a hard time to find community, to find friends. There was no one who I could call my best friend, and I still don't have someone from back then that I could say, "Hey, this was my best friend growing up." I went out on the streets and played with them, or we went and hung out. We went to. I have no one to say that, that. But coming to high school, I finally began to find a community to get engaged. I joined JROTC, and I was also part of a photography club. So that really helped me grow more into who I was and finding out, especially growing up. I didn't know. I was just like, okay, I just have to go to school, get done, and then I'll go back home and help my family. But after that, uh, I didn't know what to do. Again, growing up in high school, I felt lonely. Still, even though I was part of a community, I didn't have anyone who I could have deep talks with. I didn't grow close with my family. Again, it was difficult trying to learn a new language and trying to find friends through that. But my family still sticking to Spanish, and it wasn't just the best relationship that I had with my parents. Uh, so yeah, now that I was getting closer to graduating high school, I had to find those big questions. Where am I going? What am I doing after this? Do I want to work? Do I want to go to college? Where? Why? What's the reason that I should do this? Um, and most importantly, how can I pay back my family for the time they have sacrificed, the money they have given to me, just everything they've done just to give me and provide for me for a better future. And well, you know, graduation came around. I decided I would go to Texas, hook 'em. But, with that was, yeah, I did not know what I was doing. My whole life I thought I wanted to be an architect, and then Texas, they were like, okay, yeah, you can come over here, but you can't be an architect. I'm like, okay, I took my leap of faith, and I was like, okay, I'll go. UT is a great school. If I graduate from there, I'll get anything that's great. Um, but also, so what's next? Going to school? Not really. That's the summer of 2017 is when I finally found the path of God. I finally found something that in my heart that I had never experienced. I spent that summer with my biological mom and my uncle, and they would go regularly to church 2 3 times a week, and they took me with them. At first, I was like, "What is this? Am I really enjoying this? Is this really part of me?" But I never was against it. I was always like, "Okay, no, let me go try it." But you know, that same summer, I got baptized, and not only me, but more other members of my family and my mother. We all got baptized, and that was really a big changing life experience. I finally felt something that that I was meant to be here. That I have a purpose. That I can do something, and that my life it's not gonna be the same anymore. It's not gonna be the plain, boring life that I've lived, my whole life. That there's something out there that I need to look for, and there's a purpose for me to serve. Um, so yeah, uh, but once you find your faith, there's more challenges that come there. Um, so I came to university, and what was I gonna do? How can I find friends? How can I find friends? So, and I dealt with other personal problems. I was out partying. I didn't have a church here. Um, I was dealing with one of the my biggest issues that I've had in my life, which was the addiction to pornography. That was just drilling into my life. That was really burning me alive. Right after finding that maybe I do have a purpose here. Maybe I can actually do change something. Um, and then after that, something incredible happened. I walked out of my door one night, and of course, as Carrie said, Bailey lived right next door, and I found this. I found this laying, outside the door, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll grab it. Let's see where this takes me. Um, from there, these were the words that were there that I would like to read. What's in there? It says, "Hello, beautiful. Here's your very own Bible. I just wanted to let you know that you are so loved and so incredible and beautiful. You were thoughtfully and carefully created by the Almighty God, and oh, how He loves you. He can't wait to start this journey with you. You are not alone in your problems, worries, struggles, heartbreaks, confusion, and the list could go on forever. You are never alone because God is with you. He is with you always, and He will never ever leave your side. You're His beautiful child, and His grace is so wonderful and incredible and amazing that our human minds can't ever come close to comprehend the love He has for us. He forgave us all and He sent His only Son, Jesus Christ, to die for you so that He could pay the price of our sin for us. We no longer face the death penalty because Jesus paid it for us. For you, I am praying for you. God bless you." And I had that laying around my desk for maybe 2-3 weeks until I finally decided to message her on GroupMe. I was like, "Hey, do you have a church group that you go to? Can I go with you someday?" She was like, "Sure, why not?" And she took me to a Sunday night uplift, and next thing you know, I found another community. But this community embraced me with full of love. They showed me, uh, you know, the whole love that they have. They have cared for me. They have helped me grow. They have done for me a lot. And there's no words really that can really express what this community has done. We've done many events like play soccer together. We've done ice skating. Um, we've done cooking parties. We've done, karaoke parties. You name it, we've done it. Yep. Um, I found some of my closest friends, and again, they helped me just go on with my life. They helped me experience new moments. They helped me grow up. They helped me um, be who I am now. And it's incredible because, again, in high school, I found a community that I still feel lonely with. But with this community, I didn't feel alone. They took me wherever they went. And I followed wherever they went because I knew that they were going the right direction. I knew that with God, I would be safe. that with them having God in their lives, we would be protected, that we would grow in the right direction, that we would go through the right paths. And but again, it's not over yet. Just finding a community and finding love. It's not, it's doesn't end there. So again, struggles came. Um, and one way I like to place is that love doesn't come just in butterflies and rainbows. Love comes also in thunders and lightnings. You don't know how truly the love of God is, and you don't know how to expect it, how to embrace it. But not long ago, you know, this past year, I had just a bunch of events happening right back to back. One of my cousins decided to send me a suicide note one night, right after he said that he was going to church, that he was finally embracing God. After several weeks, he told me, he sent me a suicide note and said, tell my family that I love them, etc. But I was able to reach out to him soon enough. But that wasn't the end of that. After that, I was the last person that he wanted to hug before he ran into the forest with a knife and, you know, threatening himself that this was it, that he didn't have a purpose to live. And again, I never stopped believing that God would protect him that night, that God would be there with him. And yeah, God brought him back into our house. God brought him back into our lives. And then after that, I also began dealing with other personal problems. Again, the issue of pornography came back into my life. And due to that, I lost many friendships, and I lost one of my best friends, which has really impacted my life deeply. But I know that from there, I have to continue growing. There's no, time to stop. There's no reasons. There's no reason to really stop there. And most recently, my grandma got very sick. She had a bad illness that my whole family thought we're never gonna see her again. It's been 14 years since I last saw her, and I've grown with that hope that one day I'll be able to see her again. One day when I graduate, I'll finally go home and be able to hug her. But due to that, my whole family got worried. It struck us by surprise. And my mom, my biological mom, had to make one of the hardest decisions, whether she would leave her children here and go back home, or she would risk not being able to say goodbye to her mom before she passed away. And she decided that we are old enough, we have found God, and we know His path. So she put all the trust in God to continue raising us, and she left just about a month ago, a month and a half ago. So now, I'm happy that she's back home. I'm happy that she's back to see her mom. But it's been hard. It's been hard dealing that I won't be able to see my mom in like 3 more years once I graduate. I count the days till I finally am able to embrace her warm hugs again. And it hurts me also to know that my sister is growing without her mother, without a parental figure, because I know how difficult that is. But yeah, all of that adding up, I became very depressed. I became sad. I didn't want to do anything. I had the worst moments, and even suicidal thoughts came into my mind. Like, why? Why is all this happening to me? I questioned God. I went out and I screamed at him. Why? Why are you doing this to me? But again, all love doesn't come in rainbows and butterflies. And I believe that this was part of his love towards me. That sometimes I would get caught up in whatever I was doing, but not focusing on Him. And through this, I've finally been able to grow more spiritually and personally, and many different ways. And I'm thankful again for this community because they were there. They were there always. Whenever I needed them the most, they were. They took me out. They were like, "Hey, let's go hike. Let's go play sports. Let's continue doing what you do," and that helped me grow even more and more. Um, Again, I don't really celebrate my birthday, but these guys, they made it happen. They were like, "Okay, let's go eat for your birthday. Let's go out. Let's have a nice, a dinner." So we went out, and yeah, this literally just happened in like 8 hours planning. So spontaneous. But I've learned that through them, God has also shared His love, His true, honest love, and I'm so grateful for that. Not only would they go eat dinner, but also maybe jump 14,000 feet from the air with you, So that's a good pro from this group. Th- They'll go up there. They'll go take the biggest leap of faith for you. That's what I've learned from this group. That you know they will always be here for you. They will continue to love you no matter what mistakes you make, no matter what struggles you're going to, the worries, the heartbreaks. Just how Bailey said in her notes, God loves me, and God has definitely shown His love through this community to me. And as I continue to grow, I continue to also try to share that love with my parents and with my cousin there. Just last week, it's been years of praying, but just last week, my family finally stepped foot into a church, and it was great to hear that from my mom. She sounded so happy. It's again, you just it's years of praying and years of working hard to with faith, and yes, as I someday believe that I will get to see my grandmother again, that my whole family will be reunited. I believe that again, love comes in many ways, and sometimes uh, it comes at the worst moments. Sometimes it comes at the best. Sometimes it looks like, butterflies, birds in the sky. Sometimes it looks like the biggest thunderstorms there is. But I know that God has definitely shown me His love through this community, the one that I'm always gonna be grateful for, no matter where I go. I don't know where I'll be in the next couple of years, in the next decade, 50 years, but I for sure know that I will always remember the love that God shared with me through this community. Yeah.